Well, good morning. I'm just going to go ahead and interrupt the guys. This is 1100 WSG. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over. What's happening? What's happening here in Robeson County, Springfield, and beyond? What's happening one street over from where you live in? Well, we'd like to check in and kind of see. Now, we're kind of on a Springfield City kick because I had Terry Martin in here yesterday, and he had so much to cover. And I haven't had, I like to, kind of spread it out. We have Ryan Martin come in, working on getting representation from City of White House. Would love to check in with Ridgetop and Greenbrier and all these. So we're trying to kind of get that rhythm going. And Buzzy's one that I can call and say, hey, I got an opening here. Can you come in? And you almost always like, sure, I'll come in and see what's going on. And I appreciate you.
I love talking with you.
It's so fun. Fun. And we do have Brian Pulley coming in from United Way at 7:30, so that's good. But I love just visiting with you because you're into so many things that I love that you play music. I want to play music better, but you have to make time to practice, and that's the D word, discipline, and I've never been very good at that. And those kinds of, I've got to really. It's one of those things that when it comes to playing, I sing like everybody else in Nashville. Everybody plays, everybody sings, right?
That's right.
But I've always wanted to play guitar really well, and I just never had the discipline just to sit down and do it. I used to play piano, and I didn't have the discipline to sit down and do it. What do you this is like off topic of everything, but what do you have to do to, when did you first pick up a guitar? I always like to hear this from people who are good musicians.
I would say about the 9th grade.
Okay.
And I came to the realization that I was
Girls dig guitars?
I was not cut out to play football because I was about 90 pounds.
Okay.
And the punishment I was receiving, trying to play football.
Gotcha.
I kind of came home one afternoon and I said, this just isn't going to work. I'm not going to survive this.
Yeah.
Just wasn't big enough.
Yeah, I hear you.
And so I thought, music.
Okay.
Beach Boys.
Sure.
I was hearing the Beach Boys and the Beatles.
Okay.
And I just came back last weekend, went to Jeffersonville, Indiana for Abbey Road on the River.
Nice.
It's a big Beatles festival. It's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday deal. And they have some really, really good, it's not all Beatle music. It's a lot of bands that play Tom Petty or Joe Cocker.
So I could get into that.
It's great.
Yeah.
And well done. The stages are nice. And when one stage stops, everybody just takes their chairs and just goes over to the next. It's just continual.
So they're changing out the stage. So you can kind of move over to another stage while they're resetting.
Absolutely.
Ah, cool. That's a good way to do it.
I've been enough times now to where you actually see the same people.
Okay.
Year after year after year.
Right.
It's kind of like a family reunion.
Oh, cool.
But it's in there. They've got a beautiful downtown park right there on the river almost. And it's a great event. It really is.
So you're not playing. You're going to be a spectator.
I'm just going to hang out and enjoy myself and eat hot dogs and all the food truck stuff. And,
sure.
And, of course, there's everybody's, it's kind of the hippie generation. You see a lot of people dressed, to that time, that period. But a lot of the groups play the authentic Hofner basses and the Rickenbacker guitars and the Vox amps and all the stuff that the Beatles actually used. And some of the groups actually really look like the Beatles.
Fun.
Oh, yes.
They put it all on.
There's one group that comes from Colombia that actually can't speak English. There's one guy in the band that's kind of, sort of can.
Not Columbia, Tennessee.
No, Columbia, wherever
when you said,
Columbia
when you said Columbia, I was Columbia, Tennessee, and they don't speak English.
But they play Beatles songs.
Cool.
And at the end of, just like the Beatles, at the end of every song, they do a little bow,
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But it is fun.
That is cool.
A good vibe type of event.
I love that. That is very fun. And again, that's the way I knew you before you became our city mayor is because, Buzzy was the musician, local musician. And so that's why I always like to hear somebody's backstory on that because, it's one of those things that I've always had just a great love for, but I'm always curious about ones that are really good musicians. How do you pick up that guitar and not put it down?
And the thing, now, of course, back in the day, we would actually, my buddy and I would actually sit in his bedroom and just pick the needle up off the record and go back and try to learn what the chords were.
Yeah.
And one guy would be writing down the words
the
songs and all that stuff. But now you can go online and you can, the lead solo in Guns N' Roses, whatever.
Yeah.
Boom. There's 30 guys showing you how to play it.
Yeah. Oh, I know, on YouTube. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I know. It's you can learn so much.
That much information. But it's, my dad used to tell me, he said, I've heard you sit in that room and play guitar, and I haven't recognized the song yet.
That's funny.
When I was a kid, though, Lawrence Welk, remember that?
Oh, yeah, man, I do.
I think one of the guys that played guitar on Lawrence Welk was a guy named Buddy Merrill.
Okay, yeah.
And so whenever Lawrence Welk was on, I had to kind of come into the living room and kind of stand at attention and watch Buddy Merrill play guitar.
Because he wanted you to say, he's like, can you play this?
Yes, he was like, this is what I want you to be, son. You know.
Yeah. Can you play? Can you play? That's a good musician right there.
But
that's funny.
I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fellowship with your bandmates, and there's still guys I've played with for 30 years.
Yeah,
and we still get together and play. I'm playing this coming Saturday at Cedar Creek Marina.
Cool.
Scoreboards at Cedar Creek. And we're still out having fun, you know.
What you said about the fellowship of the band, I just want to kind of give a plug to Mr. Perry's music up here.
Absolutely.
Because that's something that has come on as more of a trend now, but I love that Perry brought that to us here in Robertson County, and they form bands. Mm-hmm. And so that was probably one, if I had access to that kind of training to where I could have been in a band and done that, I think it would have held my interest. But if you've got a kid that's kind of having a hard time finding their thing, try music, and you can check out Mr. Perry. And they've been sponsors of the program before, so I just want to plug them real quick. That is just a really cool thing. One of my students, Aiden Raymer, he has been in bands there and just has really excelled, and I know so many other kids have, but I just know Aiden's story, and he met so many good friends there, and they've had a couple of bands through there. But being able to be a part of a band will keep you going. And so they've got band camps coming up to where, and not like band camp like we have, you know, for the marching band. This is like rock band camp. And so they've got that coming up, and you can call them and find out more about that. So I encourage you to do that if you got a kiddo that, and I think some grown-ups do it too. So,
but Nashville has so many good musicians.
Oh my goodness, it's crazy.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And anytime I go to hear someone, my girlfriend just tells me, she says, well, I just sit here and you just get completely lost in watching. I love to watch people play music.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I study.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. It's like, how did they do that? You know, and it's one thing to play an instrument well, but the different tones and all the things that are available now that you can use, pedals and effects and all the different things. I mean, you can spend a fortune on just trying, you know, it's one thing to play guitar. It's another thing to get all the sound, you know. Yeah. Try to play the guitar parts in a Pink Floyd song. Yeah. Because that's just incredible effects and stuff. But music's always been good.
That's cool. And I know we're getting off topic. I got the city mayor in here. And have you met, did you and Tommy Marsh get together? Mm-hmm. You know Tommy?
A little bit.
Tommy Marsh, Crooked Eye Tommy.
Yeah.
He's relatively new to the area. He's been here 5-6 years now.
He's got a great band.
He's on the fair board.
Yeah.
So good. And I haven't had him in forever. He was doing the blues. I know they're not doing the blues festival this year. Yeah. And he's going to bring it back next year. I mean, trying to find the audience for that blues festival, because it is, man, did you ever go to the blues festival? He's had a few here.
I saw Tommy play one night at the fair.
Oh, yeah. He's so good.
Yeah,
y'all need to get together. Y'all need to put your heads, I think y'all, if y'all haven't gotten to be buds, you would be. We're talking with Buzzy Poole. He is our city mayor. So you've got a long list of stuff there. What have you got on there that you think we need to talk about today?
Got some things. You know, of course, I'm sure Terry spoke about Garner Street Park.
Of course, yes.
And I think
getting close.
It is so close.
Yeah.
And I want to encourage anybody to just drive down there
and take a look at it.
Because it is, I know how Playground 2000 was. It was just everybody thought it was the greatest thing that ever was, and it served us so well for many years. But this is just over the top cool.
Yeah.
There's kind of a replica of the courthouse there.
I know. I think that is the coolest thing. It is neat.
Yes, because really our courthouse is kind of what we kind of identify with.
Yeah.
So much history there.
Yeah.
And now we've added 2 pickleball courts.
Yes. Everybody's excited about pickleball.
Oh yes, that's the rage right now. And we've got this Gaga course, and I saw some kids play Gaga the other day for the first time.
That's something and Terry and I didn't talk about that. Do you even know what that is?
Gaga
I don't.
You actually get into this little enclosed situation, and it's kind of like kickball.
Yeah.
You try to hit your other folks there with the ball.
Her.
But you can't throw it. I think you more or less kind of kick it or shove it or whatever. And somebody bought a little inflatable one to church the other night for the youth to play with. And it was fun,
Gaga.
Anything that gets kids, I mean,
oh, yes.
too many
Anything.
kids are
on the tablets.
Oh, yes, and
on the
playing the
screens.
games and all those kind of things. But Garner Street Park is going to be really something that we will really, I think everybody would be so excited about. And then Terry, I knew you spoke probably about the fishing rodeo coming
That's
up.
on the, and he gave me some new numbers. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because he was in here and he said, we had about 100 pre-registered. He called me and he said, no, we've got 300 and something kids registered. And then if you count adults too, we're talking in 600 and something that are registered for that rodeo. Come on, let's just keep it going. And I mean, wouldn't it be cool if you had 1,000 people out there? It'd blow everybody away.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be tight, but go out there and have fun, get prizes.
Absolutely. And
it's so fun.
And how many kids get to go fish?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
This is, there again, that's where your Springfield Parks and Recs is doing a great job to bring people out to enjoy what we have.
Yes.
And I promised Terry I was going to make a small donation, so I've got to make sure I get by and see him today.
And it's a free fishing day, Saturday, across the state, free fishing day, but they celebrate it with a fishing rodeo, kicking it off at Travis Price Park. And the gates open at 6. I think.
The actual rodeo is like from 8 to 10.
Yeah, but people get there early to get their spot.
Absolutely. And you can continue to fish later in the day, too.
Yeah.
You can just stay there and fish as long as you want to.
But it's cut off at 14. Ages to 14 is the kiddos that are in competition for the biggest fish, the most fish, all that good stuff.
And there's going to be good prizes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, my grandson got a fishing rod that he still uses there a couple of years ago. Great prizes. So, but the numbers are way up there. So let's just go crazy and get 1,000 people out there. Wouldn't that be fun?
Enjoy it.
Yes.
Enjoy it.
Yes.
Next, let's talk about First Friday. That is coming up. Of course, we didn't get to have the one
You were supposed to play music.
I know.
I was so sad.
And Terry said every time we try to have one in May, it rains. And I don't know if that's, just because of the month of the year or whatever, and now we're looking at a possibility of rain again. So let's just hope that we can get this in, because the band performing is 4 on the floor. They are awesome.
What kind of music do they play?
They are kind of everything from the 60s, 70s, 80s. They're fun to watch. They're big on audience participation.
Fun.
And they actually got together in 1987. I did a little
They've been
research.
playing that long?
Absolutely. Wow. They play a lot of the festivals in McMinnville, Fayetteville, Sparta, different places like that. They are a regional act.
Okay.
And they've played the First Fridays several times before, and so everybody knows how good they are. So get your yard chairs ready and bring a little money to spend with our vendors and come out and enjoy a good night. Let's just hope the weather
Pray the rain away.
Absolutely. I have been invited to participate this Saturday. The American Legion Riders are coming to Springfield. They're having their legacy ride.
Oh, fun.
And I've got to get with Jim Ball because I want him to be there if he can and do some video.
Smokey.
And
Smokey Barnes.
Oh, Smokey. And Mr. Albert Haas, he is the Middle Tennessee director for the American Legion Riders. just called me up and he said, "Hey, you've done a few things, to pay respects to our military, and we want you to come and help place a wreath there." And everybody, I don't think people realize the significance of that Agent Orange Memorial.
Oh,
there.
no.
And there's not another one like it in the world. And we are so lucky to have it here in Springfield. And I had a first cousin that lost his life in Vietnam. So it has a special situation,
You're part of the Pitt Carroll. Which one was it?
White Carroll and William Pitt.
Yeah. Which one's your cousin?
William Pitt.
William Pitt. I remember you telling me that last time, and I was like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, William was, I didn't have any brothers. I had a sister.
Yeah.
And William was like my brother. And
So was he the Springfield or the Greenbrier?
he was the Greenbrier.
Okay. We got to win that game sometime, y'all. Come on. Come on. I'll tell you.
But of course, William, he had offers to play college football.
Right.
White did the same thing. And for whatever reason, they just decided they were going to go in the Marine Corps on the buddy plan. And
God bless them.
we lost them both in Vietnam. So I was a little too young, for all that. And then, when they had the lottery, I was like I was 1A. I was actually commuting back and forth to Austin P. I would go to college in the daytime, and I was working at, it's now Electrolux, but back then it was F.H. Lawson there.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I was
What did they make?
They made trash cans.
Really?
And little heaters,
Really?
like the municipal trash cans, that's what we made. And so I would go to school and then work at night there to pay for my college. And, but, it's
It's a different time, wasn't it, brother?
it sure was.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It sure was. And to go back to Clarksville now and just look and see how Austin P has grown.
Oh, yeah.
My gracious. That is a good school. Very good school. And I've got a friend that does a lot of the production when they have certain events, and I've been able to work in some of their theaters and some of their big events they have, and they're first class. They have it's a good
Great school.
yeah.
And you just a little plug for them. You can get your kids, if you're just got kids going into high school as a teacher, I'll tell you, they have dual enrollment programs to where your kids could, if you'll get going on this, especially if they're just getting into high school, they can graduate with an associate's degree at the same time they graduate with their high school diploma.
That's awesome.
We've had several that I've known that's done that. One of the young ladies that has done that, Mackenzie, she's graduated a couple of years ago, but not this year, but last year. And she went straight into nursing school with her associates, got on the accelerated program. She's going to be a nurse like in another year.
That's awesome.
She just graduated last year.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's incredible, the jump start that she had. We're proud of you, sweetheart. But just since you mentioned Austin P, if you've got kiddos going into school, please look into that. If you've got one that just really can handle that, but you need to get on that on the front end and not be like your junior year going, you need to start your freshman year looking at that with your counselors, because that's what an incredible opportunity, because it's, you get this without paying all that money.
Right.
You can get your associate's degree while you're in school. Then you can use your Tennessee Promise for that. I mean, God, it's such an opportunity.
Yeah.
But you got to keep your grades up. But it's such an amazing opportunity.
And a lot of people,
Oh my gosh,
they don't know that.
No, they don't.
They don't know that.
They don't realize that. That's why when you mentioned Austin P, I just wanted to kind of leave a little plug for that.
I still I went there for 2 years, and my father kind of got very sick, and my buddy, Big Dan, I called him. He was from Adairville, Kentucky, and he and I welded together.
Okay.
At F.H. Lawson, and he was a hoot, big old guy. Always wore bib overalls. He was a character, and we came in one night, and we thought we were going to do what we normally did, and we were really good at what we could run our 8 hours production about 6, and we just kick back and relax. But anyhow, we came in that night, and they said, "Well, you're not going to weld tonight," and they carried us up to the front of the facility and gave us these little air screwdrivers, and we were putting screws in these little heaters like you plug in the wall,
Yeah.
And so we did that for about an hour. And Big Dan, I just saw him go over, and he picked up his lunch box, and I said, "Where are you going?" He said, I don't want to do this.
Uh-huh.
And I said, well, where are you going? He said, I'm quitting. And I thought, what? And I said, well, wait a minute, I'll quit too.
Oh my goodness.
So here we go. We're walking out of F.H. Lawson, and I said, hey, where are we going to go to work? And I'll never forget, he turned around and said, they're building that interstate down in Clarksville, I-24. Remember that?
Yeah.
He said, I bet we can get a job down there. He said, I know how to shoot dynamite, powder. I can load powder. That was the term. So the next day we drove down there, and he hired out to be a powder guy.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'll never forget this gentleman. He's an older fella, and he was just had the worst attitude. That's back when you could really treat people bad,
Get away with it.
Yeah. He looked at me, and I was just standing there like I'm lost. And he looked at me and said, well, boy, what can you do? And Dan spoke before I could say anything. He said, oh, he wants a job as a labor hand. And I think I hired out for like $2.80 an hour.
Oh, my goodness.
And I had an old 63 Chevrolet pickup truck. And I would meet Dan. His wife would bring him to Springfield. Then we'd drive to Clarksville. And I've just kept working and went from that to finally getting to operate a machine. And then wintertime came, and it got so cold that some of the operators didn't show up.
Uh-huh.
And so my foreman, Mr. Bill Perry, super nice guy, got to put me on. And I started kind of, breaking out what they call it.
Yeah.
And I stayed there to the job. When I left there, when we finished that section of the interstate, I was making $3.91 an hour.
So how did that compare for the time? Was that good money?
It was good. It really was. Because gas was like 40 cents, 50
wow.
cents, And
times have changed.
And here I am out here riding these big bulldozers and stuff. I thought
That's
I was
funny.
something.
I bet. That's funny.
And I was making money and kind of helping my parents some because my dad's medical bills were just crazy.
Yeah.
And but that kind of got me into I never went back to college.
Yeah.
I just
You like the trades.
I like the paycheck.
Yeah. There you go.
And there was a need for it.
Yeah.
Because my dad had gotten to where he couldn't work. And
that's interesting.
Yeah.
See, I love these backstories because those are the kinds of stories we don't really hear. My daddy, who was just flat brilliant, would have been wonderful in college, but his dad died his senior year, so he had to go home and run the family farm. So that's just what you did. And that family, you just, when you were a kid, you helped your family.
Yes.
And it's just so interesting how things are now in comparison to what it was when we were kids. Yes. You're a little bit older than me, but not much. And but I remember that era.
Yes.
That's your city mayor, y'all. I love this. I love this backstory. That is so good. But I love that. That's very interesting.
Well, it was, and as I thought my dad was actually getting better, and after we finished the interstate job, I went to work for a company in Nashville. And I was kind of my own little crew, and they would send me here. And I'll never forget, I was working on the new fire hall in Franklin. We were doing the site prep.
Yeah.
And that was back before you had cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my company truck, and all of a sudden one of the guys from the office drove out. And I got off my bulldozer, and I walked over there, and he said, you need to get home. You've had a death in your family. And
oh my goodness.
And at that time, my grandmother had moved in with my mom and dad, and she wasn't doing very well.
Right.
And I thought, all the way home.
Yeah, that was your grandma.
I'm thinking it's my grandmother.
Oh my.
And so when I pull up in the driveway at my mom and dad's, I come around the corner and I look, my grandmother standing in the door waiting on me. And my dad just was feeling good and was just going about whatever he was doing that morning, and went back in the den and was sitting in his chair and just passed away.
Wow.
But he was a good guy. Taught me so much about how you treat people. He always had a gas station, and he treated everybody the same. I don't care if you were a country club person or you was a street sweeper.
Yeah.
He treated everybody the same. I don't care what your color was. I don't care what your social status. everybody he treated the same. And he knew the families that had need. And if one of the better, more well-to-do people came in and bought a set of tires, he would save the tires that came off their car, and he would make sure they got to a family he knew that needed them.
Wow.
They would come in and say, look, I got some tires here that'll fit your car. You know, I'm going to hold them for you when you let people have charge accounts.
Yeah.
And
just took care of people. That's all. That's a cool story. I love that.
Always raise a garden. And on Sundays, we come home from church, and it was, I'd want to go be doing something with my friends, you know. And I had to, I'm hoeing
the garden.
You got it.
I did it many hours when I was a kid.
He was a tomato raising technician. And sometimes we would stick the tomatoes. Sometimes we would straw the tomatoes and just let them run. One year he had this little deal where he had little sections of muffler pipe, and he stuck it in the ground where you could put the Miracle Grow and everything. I mean,
That's funny.
And he grew beautiful tomatoes. And all this work with the corn and tomatoes and okra and the beans and everything that he did, he would take it to the gas station.
Oh, fun.
And people would come in and hey, get you some tomatoes over there now.
Oh, I love it.
And,
I love it.
And I'm just kind of hey, Dad, we really worked hard to raise. Just, you know, let people enjoy. And he would put the bushel baskets right out in front there on the little curb where the office was, where people would see it. And I see now
that's marketing.
That's it. That is exactly it. That is exactly it. And once a week, I would unstack all the oil cans. Remember your service station? You'd start out with about 20, and then you just keep building your pyramid. I would take those down and wipe them all off and stack them back up. And I'll never forget when cigarettes went to like 35 cents a pack.
Oh, man.
People went, that's way too high. And but my dad liked to hunt and fish, and he had his little group of guys that would always come in every evening, and they would sit and talk about their bird dogs, and they would trade shotguns. And that was my cue when all those guys, it was like their club, you know. I would bring my friends' cars in and put them on the rack. We'd put headers and traction bars.
You'd work on the cars. I love it.
Yeah, and Daddy would just, you know, bring them on in, Mike.
Bring them on in. That is so funny. I love this. This is so fun.
He was such a good guy. He quit school, but he could add and subtract just with a pencil and paper quicker than I could with the adding machine.
Yeah.
And went through a period that he had kidney stones real bad. And I was about 14, I guess. And I ran the gas station for 2 weeks by myself.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I was just pumping gas.
How old did you say you were?
I was about 14.
Yeah, my dad talks about that he taught him something, because kids worked when they were younger, and it built a work ethic that you just don't have anymore. My dad, he says he was the next to the youngest of 9, and he talks about teaching himself to tie his shoes behind a plow horse. Really? That's the guy he was. So I mean, it's just that work ethic. I saw Brian Pulley come in here. I tell you, this is so much fun, Buzzy. I love just kind of reminiscing.
I got to talk about.
Yep, go ahead.
Freedom Fest, July 3rd. Yes,
we talked with Terry a little bit about it yesterday, but what have you got to add to it?
Very good. I want everybody to know that myself and my group of
buddies, you're playing.
Buzzy Poole and friends, we're going to open the show. Then the band Entice, some of the best funk and soul music you'll ever hear. Emmy Russell, who is Loretta Lynn's granddaughter.
Right, she's awesome.
Was American Idol participant. And then our headliner is Will Mosley. He was second place on American Idol. The guy's just awesome. I've already got
Carrie Underwood.
Yes.
She was second place. She didn't win, y'all.
And so I've already had people ask me, some of the younger girls that are in town said, "Can you get me backstage to meet Will Mosley?" And I said, I don't know if I can do that or not. But anyhow, it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time.
And the city of Springfield does such a great job because they bring in it's a concert level stage, it's concert level production, and it's so fun to see the younger people get to experience that.
Right.
Because some of them might not get to go concerts.
Yeah.
And this is a chance.
It's a free one. Yeah.
For free
Yeah.
to come down and enjoy an afternoon and evening of music. And then the main attraction always is the fireworks.
And they're incredible.
They are. It's
My
great.
goodness, we took my grandson last year, and oh my goodness, it was just the best fireworks. I don't like the huge, crazy crowds.
Yeah.
The way it was managed was wonderful. It didn't
yes.
feel like this massive stuff like you have downtown, but it was. I mean, it was packed. It was just wonderful. I just can't say enough about it. It was wonderful.
The fun thing is, while the fireworks, there's music and things going on, so it all kind of meshes together for just a real great experience. And I'm honored to be able to walk out there and start this thing off.
I think that's cool that you're going to get to play and open the show. That's going to be cool, Mayor.
So,
Mayor Poole, Mayor Buzzy Poole.
we always get to
All right,
talk
buddy.
about so many different things.
Well, I knew when I saw a slot, I was like, I hadn't talked to Buzzy in a little bit. I need to have him on in here.
Yeah.
So thank you for
Yes,
coming
ma'am.
in.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it so much.
Yes, ma'am.
And you come in anytime. If you have something that you're like, hey, I need to get on, call me and we'll work it in.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
God bless Mayor Buzzy Poole, City Mayor. And as he's making his way out, I'm going to let Brian Pulley come on in here with the United Way of Middle Tennessee. They come in on every Thursday. But while they're making their way out, I want to pause for a second, and I want to talk about Bernard Farms Custom Cuts and Market. Because I was out on Monday, I normally cover them on Monday. But I had to kind of pause on that and move it to later this week simply because I wasn't here and didn't want to, share the fact that I was talking. I went in to see Julie last week. I just love her. She's a dear friend. I think we talked to her for 2 hours, and can you imagine me and Mark standing there and talking to Julie Bernard for 2 hours?
Yes, I can. I can absolutely.
We had the
imagine
best
that.
time. I'm not going to tell you how many biscuits my husband ate while we were in there, but a bunch. And they have breakfast, they have lunch, they cut pork this week. Last week, it was, because of Memorial Day, they gave their folks the week off. And so Julie and Steve were in there and we just had the best visit with them. I just love their store. I love everything they've done out there. I tell them they're my farming heroes because I know how hard it is to make a living as a farm now because I grew up on a farm. My brother and his bride still farm. And, you've got to have all kinds of stuff going. And so this idea of this market, and that they process the meat they grow on the farm, their hogs and their cattle, they grow it to process it. And I mean, their meat case is just beautiful. It's like a work of art. They've got everything in there. You can go in there and have lunch. You can have breakfast. Just a fun place to visit. All kinds of great gift ideas. If you want something unique, I'll just stand by this. You want to really make your dad happy for Father's Day, go in there and put them a gift basket together with stuff from that meat. I mean, would that not thrill you?
That would be all I would ask for right there. And then let me go out and cook it. And then if you really want to give me a gift, leave me alone. Give me some peace and quiet. So that's all dads really want. That's a secret. You don't have to buy anything fancy. Give us some meat. Let us get on the grill. And then you get a delicious meal out of it. So
I'm telling you. Yeah. I mean, look at that. Look at that.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I've had that stuff. That is... See, you make me hungry first. I haven't had my breakfast yet either, so.
I'm telling you, they've got pork burgers and sausage links that they made fresh yesterday. They have fresh and frozen. I mean, they are absolutely beautiful. I was in there when somebody came in. They were asking, well, do you have this in it and this in it? And they were asking something about MSG. And she's like, no, ma'am, there's no MSG in there. Well, sometimes they add it. And she goes, well, they is me.
Right. I'm they.
I was like, you can just hear Julie saying that. They is me.
They is me.
So promise you, there's no MSG in that. What's on the labels? What's in it?
Fellas, I'm gonna give you a little tip here.
I love it.
That if you like to get on the grill, but you're a little new to it, and you cook it out for people, and you kind of feel like I don't know if I got the skills. The cuts of meat you get and the quality of meat you get make all the difference in the world. That's the little dirty little secret for the guys that really get down on the grill.
Yeah.
Yes, there's skill involved, but it starts with the quality of meat you get. This will make you look so good. People are going to go, oh, what did you do to this? It's so tender, da-da-da. All you did was go buy good meat. That's what you did to start with. So and you're not going to find any fresher meat, better meat than at a place like that. So Take advantage of it. I've done it.
Check it out.
Make you look like everybody will be hoeing and humming at the table when you put it on. I promise you.
It's good stuff, guys. And they're open 7 to 4 today. And then Sunday they're open from 1 to 4. But it's Bernard Farms Custom Cuts and Meats, one of our sponsors here at One Street Over. We appreciate them. We love them. Go by and say hello today. And definitely hook your daddy up for Father's Day. This is the place. They're at 7536 Clay Gregory Road in Orlinda. And if you go in there, be ready to sit and talk a while, because that's what goes on. It's just that kind of place. That's what we love about Robeson County. And be sure and let them know that, of course, U-Turn sent ya. Brian Pulley's in the house.
Good morning.
And I tell you, you messaged me yesterday, hey, I'm with you tomorrow. And I was like, well, you said you were busy. And I don't want this to ever be a stress for you.
It's not stressful. It's just summer stuff. My son's in VBS this week. My daughter had cheer practice this morning. We're running around a little bit. So it's just normal summer stuff, but we got it covered. It's all good. So, we also try to give our partners an opportunity if they've got things to promote. And we had a couple that we were trying to say, hey, if you want to promote. One of them, I think already booked for next week.
Chosen?
So it's cool. Yep. So it's cool. So they're already taken care of. And somebody else, they had, I think, a health issue or something like that. So they weren't able to do it this time. So
somebody in before y'all next week.
She is. Yeah. She was one of the ones we wanted to, I know she has her back to school stuff that she's working on, and we are as well. So we wanted to make sure she has the opportunity to
school already.
Y'all don't have to think about it. You do not have to think about it. Let me just say that. This is, and I don't really like it either. We just got out. We hadn't even really got into summer yet, but we have to, as an organization, have to think about it. So does she. So, because it takes a while to get all that stuff together. I promise.
I'm telling you, that's hysterical. And it's so funny because they are just already talking back to school, and we haven't been out 2 weeks yet.
Not even.
We're not even.
I haven't got my toes in the sand yet. So until that happens, it's not summer yet. So
we had a little short trip to Kansas City, so it kind of felt like summer. Being able to, because my niece and my nephews we were there for their last day of school. In their community, because Kansas City was out so much for snow, they had to go all this extra time. Because they were just out so much, and they had to make up all these school days because you have to go to school so many days for it to be considered school year.
Yes.
So anyway, but we had being able to go on that little trip,
get away a little bit.
Yeah, we did. We just needed to get out. We just needed to get away for a minute, and my nephew, we don't. It's so hard to stay connected to family once you're like my mom's gone, and so we'd see him at grandma's and. Now that she's not there, it's like we got to be real. You
have to be intentional.
Because I'm so close to him, and so we had that. So that felt like summer. Oh, and if you were listening yesterday, I left my iPad in the rental because we always rent to drive, so we don't take our old trucks, old vehicle like me.
Yeah,
and so we don't take our old vehicles on the road. The iPad was recovered. Okay, so I found it.
So you've had a bad laptop that you tried to kill. iPad technology. Yeah,
I know.
That may be trying to tell you something. God may be trying to say, "Hey, you need to put this stuff down for a little bit this summer." You think that could be it?
I don't know. Joe Swan is messaging me from the central office because I was in there yesterday. He goes, "Hey, I've got you a laptop loaner if you want to come get it." Are you sure you trust me, Joe?
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah.
Yeah.
But I just bought me a new Mac.
Yeah.
And so we needed a home computer.
Right.
We needed a home computer. I'm super excited about it. It has a terabyte.
I don't even know what that is. I know it's a lot. I know that. Yeah. I'm saying, but I couldn't quantify that for you.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It means I can leave stuff on my computer and not have to. That's my frustration. Is I like to have everything right there.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those clutter people, and I like to have 1,000 things going. If you look at my desktop,
I was going to ask
open it up. There's like icons open. It's like it's scary. Technology people, they open my computer and they go, But it's the way my mind works.
You're either that way, or you're the one that cleans out your inbox like every single time.
My husband is that person.
I'm more your side, but I am a reformed, not save things on my desktop person. I used to be that, and our IT person would open it up and it would scare them what was on there. So now I at least file things in the correct place, but I don't know how much I have in my inbox, thousands. And so, but I've answered everything I need to answer. I'll put it to you that way. So I don't need to clean it out to feel good. My wife's a clean out.
My husband opens my stuff up and he's like, "How do you work? How do you function?" It's so funny. And I was, with my nephew this weekend, and his wife is one of those. She has an eBay business that is just huge.
Okay.
And they're in the beauty and health part of it, and they sell beauty and health stuff. And we walked into their garage, and I'm like, this is my jam, because it was like chaos. She knew where everything was, so that's how my mind works.
It's up there.
It seems like chaos to others, but it just means I have lots of things to keep me occupied.
That's right.
I never get bored.
And when people try to come in after, it's like, you probably are not going to be able to find anything. Like if I leave a job, for instance, which I haven't left many lately. So I feel bad for the person who's coming in because you're not going to be able to find anything. I know where it's at. I can tell you specific, real quick, within 30 seconds, I can get it for you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, but it's not going to be where you would think it would be. So we all have our systems. It's okay. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Brian Pulley's here. He's with the United Way of Middle Tennessee.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have the most awesome United Way here that we have access to in Springfield and Robeson County. We love the work that you guys do. They're located just off downtown in what do you call that building there?
The 4-H office. It used to is the old bank building. I forget the name of the bank, but we're in the basement side. So corner
back.
Yep, corner of 5th and Main there, right there on the bottom. You'll see our sign, but if you see the 4-H up top, which kind of faces, the street there, we're on the side. So come in, see us. People do. It's a great location because we want to be a hub. We want to be a nonprofit hub in this area, and people do use it for that, and we're thankful for that. And we're thankful for the county for letting us use that office space. So it's all nonprofits in that building, and we have Child Care Advocacy Center, 4-H, and us, which are all partners of the United Way as well. So it's a big, happy family. We even have Thanksgiving dinner together once a year. So and
it's like, it's just something that I was thinking. It's where you drop off your giving boxes right down there. Yep. That's where this is where you'll be, coming if you're new to town, and we have a lot of newbies.
We do.
So United Way is the bridge builder to the nonprofits. Try to be.
Absolutely. So speaking of, I got a couple of events. One I touched on last week, but one, and you've probably mentioned it, but I wanted to go give them some love. My father's house has a fundraiser coming up next Friday, June 13th. It's a part of the barbecue throwdown that the Robeson County Fair Association puts on. I am cooking in this. I have been recruited to cook in this. They are doing wings, which is one of my specialties, and I take a lot of pride in. So if I don't win something, I'm going to be pretty salty about this. No, I will not. It's for a great cause. There are no losers here because everybody's going to get to eat delicious chicken wings and be outside and support a good cause. But it is June 13th from 5 to 10 p.m. at the fairgrounds. Come out. You're not going to get a better deal in town, I promise you, as far as like what you're paying and the food you're getting. They have, my understanding, I've never participated in this. Adam Callis, who is my pastor, his mother-in-law is very involved with them, and so they were recruiting guys from the area to cook, and I was happy to do it. But they're also going to have, my understanding, some pros that come in from out of town out there that'll be cooking. So there'll be a pro level and there'll be an amateur level for people that think they're pros like myself that want to cook. But come out, support that great cause. If you're looking for supper on that Friday night, I can't think of a better place. You're going to get home cooked food out there and nice. Some guys that really know how to get down on the grill. So June 13th, you support my father's house, 5 to 10 p.m. At the fairgrounds, and come out, eat, support, and it's an awesome ministry that they have there at my father's house, and the work that they're trying to do in our community and helping those that need it the most. So we love to support them any way we can.
So this is, I think I was talking yesterday with Terry, and I got confused about when the fishing rodeo was, because there was when we brought our grandson to that, we did the barbecue throwdown whenever Cobb Hill Homes was running it. And we did that, and then the next day we went to fishing rodeo, and it was all on the same weekend. So it's not this year, and that's what kind of threw me. Yeah. Fishing rodeo's this weekend, barbecue throwdowns next Friday.
Yes.
So is this just a Friday event and not
Friday
Saturday?
and Saturday?
It is Friday and Saturday now.
My father's house portion, I think, is Friday, which is the one I'm involved in. It does say June 14th. I don't know. That may be what the pros are doing. So again, this is my first time running through it. I have a lot better for next year if they do it, info, and hopefully this is something we do for a long time, but was happy to be asked to do it. But I know for sure the Friday night is the night that we're doing it for my father's house. So but there is an event Saturday as well.
Okay, and bring your money because that's how you vote for your favorite.
That's right.
Is you stuff those, raise that money, and it's for such a wonderful cause. And my goodness, you're gonna
eat. I promise you're gonna eat.
Eat. My husband loves this event. I've got a picture of him and my grandson just getting down on some wings out there.
Go for it, man.
And they just absolutely had the best time. And then the next day we came back and had barbecue.
Okay.
We went after the fishing rodeo and went there for lunch. So we just made a weekend of it. But that's what threw me. Fishing rodeos this weekend.
Yep.
And so one of them moved. I don't think the fishing rodeo did. So
it's been the same because we have supported through Rotary. We support the fishing rodeo. We provide bikes for some of the winners, Ace and I actually went there. Maybe in like 4 or 5 years ago. It was when they were first getting it going and set up a table and everything. Yeah. And but Rotary's always supported it because I'm the guy that usually goes and gets the ones for that one. So we've supported that one. So
Fishing Rodeo has been around for 28 years.
My bad. I'm not a fisherman.
You said that.
No, thank you.
It's like
I don't remember. I worked at the city for 2 summers.
Yeah.
And I don't remember us having to set up for a fishing rodeo. Maybe they didn't put me on that one because they didn't trust me or something. But I don't remember ever having to set up for it. I was an employee there 2 summers.
Well, see, and Terry told me, he said, because he was in yesterday, it may have been that it's just in the last few years they've intensified it to where they're bringing all these prizes in and all that. It. Like you said, it may have been just a few years
ago
it was when new. They started. I'm just messing with you.
Oh, no, it's fine.
No, but Terry, that was the thing I mentioned I asked him, I said, how long has it been going on? And I was really surprised.
Is it possible they may have had it somewhere else or something? Maybe not at the park. So because we did all the park stuff, and I know they would have had us eating or doing something. So yeah,
and it's also too. You've got this is a free fishing.
I'll have to ask Terry about that. It's
been around forever.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of Terry, Hollywood. What is the name of that movie that he was in?
Oh, he's
premiered.
Oh, he's a big premiere. Did he go?
No, he hasn't seen it yet. He told me, he said, well, see, and I quit asking about it because I've been teasing him just terrible about it. And I didn't know if I thought maybe they weren't going to release it because it's been so long. But The Life of Me premiered in Georgia on Tuesday. So we don't know how long. So it's finished. It's in the can, as they say in the
business.
And so it's in the can, so it's done. And if you don't know the story, Terry was recruited out of just being an extra to actually be a character in it, and a crooked cop. And so I cannot
see that.
wait.
No, I can see that. I can see that. It's good casting. Good casting.
It's going to be awesome. But one of my students, Alex Maddox, I think has got some I think he was an extra in it too. And so I need to call and let Alex know. But The Life of Me has premiered, and it was shot here in Springfield, y'all.
Yeah,
it's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
it's gonna be cool. We got to do a movie night or something to show that.
You should.
Absolutely.
What's your student's last name?
Maddox.
Yeah, I'm kin to him. Yeah. He's one of my cousins. I got a bunch of them, but and, we're everywhere.
But he was working at the Greenbrier Parks.
Okay.
And but he has got a love for film and all of that kind of thing. And so he's been in a lot. He goes
involved in the. Yeah. They've had a lot of opportunities here, so yeah.
And there'll be more.
Yeah, there'll be more.
I mean, it's such an iconic little town, and we've got the great courthouse and all those things. Right. So it's just a beautiful place.
That is good.
So Brian Pulley here with United Way of Middle Tennessee. Let me do my ad. It's really 10 till. Oh my goodness. Let me go ahead and talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. I was talking with Buzzy, and he was talking about how his dad used to put the vegetables out at the gas station and all that. And we were like, that's marketing. Marketing is as old as time. What do you do to draw attention to what you're doing and what you're providing, the services that you're providing for people? Barry Richards, and we talk a lot about this, but I haven't really, kind of honed in on it lately. For 17 plus years, he was a vice president of a media marketing company up in Nashville. So when Rebecca went full-time with real estate many years ago, she's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. He was always there to help her with the marketing end of it. And that meant that they do walkthrough tours. He came and showed my kiddos about doing walkthrough tours because I tell them audio and video touches every aspect of life now. Everything you do can have an aspect of audio and video in it. And he was showing them this is how you can use audio and video in the real estate game. And so he showed them how to do walkthrough tours. Well, he's been doing that for years and years and years. He does the videography, including the drone footage, beautiful photography. All that is marketing to make sure that the properties that they represent, Barry or Rebecca with Exit Prime Realty, are going to be seen in the absolute best light. People look at real estate now like they date. They flip through it. It's like swipe through it. If they pull up a zip code, you want yours to pop off the page. And if you have Barry and Rebecca work with it, they absolutely will, because that is one of his expertise. And if you want to contact them, you can just Google them and find them very easily. Barry Richards, Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty. You can give them a call. Rebecca's number is 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or you can go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy BUY, RobertsonCounty.com. They specialize in Robertson County properties because they're like me. They are Robertson Countyans, transplanted from Kentucky originally, but they've been here like me about 30 years up in Cross Plains. And so they specialize in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky because of their very diverse background. When you reach out to them, let them know you turn cincha. Mr. Brian Pulley is in the house talking about all things Robertson County, the United Way of Middle Tennessee, which encompasses
9 counties. We have 9 counties now. We keep expanding, which is great and also challenging, but there is strength in numbers, I always say, and there we have, just in my 6 years there, the amount of people that we have been able to serve, but then also by doing that, how we've had to add to our staff and the amount of amazing people that we've been able to add that I've been able to serve alongside is just amazing. And we had a meeting this week, and I would like to bring him in if possible. His name's Rod DeVore. He is he has a big fancy title now, but it's like strategic planning stuff that he does. And we did a whole talk about systems change and what they're working on and like big picture stuff and how they're trying to help people in a way, not just like, hey, I'm hungry, here's food, but like, how do we get to the root of why you're hungry and why you got in that situation and work upstream, as he says, to kind of stop some of these problems before they start. I promise you, like, he was one of the smartest individuals I've ever listened to speak on this subject, but presented in a way that even I could understand it. And so I'd like to bring him in sometime. But he just, the work that they're doing inspired me because they're trying to tackle some really big issues here and trying to tackle it at their roots. And it's a major undertaking, but he was a part of our family collective, which I don't know if you're familiar with it. And we had in Robertson County, and it was pretty much a state grant funded program, but their primary mission was to get families that were homeless off the street. And I had a firsthand experience with them, with somebody I knew, and I watched them from soup to nuts what they did for this family, and it was incredible. It's not just get them a place to live. Like, they worked on getting them stable jobs. They worked on financial counseling. They worked on couples therapy because they had 2 children, and they wanted them to be able to stay together so the kids had a stable home and work through those issues, and they were a young couple as well. And everything, it was a wraparound service in every way, but it was also trying to get them to where they were on their own 2 feet and they would be able to thrive moving forward. And so just an incredible program. So his work is kind of rooted in that, but he's kind of branched out. It's more vast. So I'd love to bring him in sometime and speak on. I'm not even going to try to replicate some of the stuff he was talking about because it's beyond my little brain to comprehend, but it's really impressive stuff, and just proud to work along somebody like that's doing that level of work, and their team is doing that level of work to try to make in the end, we're just trying to make our place a little bit better, give kids more of a chance to succeed in this life, especially ones that may have been born under a bad situation. And so just really happy to work. So I don't know why I got on that, but I do have one.
No, I think that's great.
Yeah, I'd like to bring him in.
Great point.
He would be an hour to talk to. Guy, interesting guy too. He's an ordained minister, professor. Like, he's an interesting guy. So I enjoy talking to him. It helped me a lot. And I'll probably go back and ask some questions as we're talking about what we're trying to do. A lot of times it's hard to quantify, like, what does the United Way do? Because we do a lot. And I think what he is talking about to me is really the root of what we do is trying to help people, not just give them a meal. That's great. There's a lot of our partner agencies that they're just a service-driven organization. It's like, you need food, we're getting you food. We have to have those. Those are essential. But what he's trying to do is, he said, like working with Second Harvest and some things they were doing is like, And it's funny because our goal would be to put them out of business, basically, because we wouldn't need it again. You know what I mean? And I know that's a pie in the sky type thing we're talking about, but like he's trying to get to the back of it and go, why do we need that? You know what I mean? Why are people in that situation? And so again, we know that the problems are vast, but to have a person that's willing to tackle that and with that intellect inspired me. So
well, and it's what we come back to. We had Sean Elmore from Open Door yesterday. We're changing our community from the inside out, and that's the goal.
Right,
changing from the inside out to where we can, get to where we don't need these services.
Right.
And I think that's great. And plus, coming off of talking about my father's house and all of that, I think it was a perfect segue. So.
Okay. Yeah. It's just
very good.
No. It stuck with me. Yeah. It's one of those talks that we sit through a lot of these as we're trying to educate ourselves so that when we have an opportunity to go speak to people, we're better equipped to answer questions and talk to them. And so it's not my level of expertise. That's not my area. I'm a fundraiser. I'm not the one that's in our initiatives and all that, but like sometimes you hear a talk and it's like, man, that one, okay, that's it right there. That's what we need to be doing and what he's doing. And he explained it in a way that I actually could grasp, but it's like you can't go through. I mean, he said we could talk about this all day. Like it's a pretty vast thing they're trying to do, and it's constantly changing is the thing. That's what's so crazy to me about it. It's just not like there's this one issue and we're trying to fix it and it's this issue and it stays this issue. The stuff he's talking about changes daily sometimes. I'm talking about our issues because there's political factors, there's economic factors, when you have a pandemic, like all these things like that happen in society change the work they're doing. You have to be able to adapt just like that and move and get a bunch of organizations to get together. That's what he's talking about, system change. Getting them together to move in the same direction. So really impressive.
Very cool stuff.
One thing, I know we got to go. One thing I'm going to probably do this every week just so people know, Tennessee Kids Nutrition Summer Feeding Program. I sent you the link for that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they have sites that they're coming to throughout Robertson County. If you can't be at one of those, and they're at 9 a.m., of those sites, and it's on the link here that was sent. And I will tell you, just search Tennessee Kids Nutrition Summer Program, and it'll pull up. But 9 a.m. at these sites, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and there's usually like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 6 of them per day that they're doing. So actually more than that. It's like about 12. So they're all.
Came in last.
He came in. Good to know. I didn't know that. Okay, so he talked on. So please, it started May 26th, runs through August 4th. He ran through all the details. If you know any, please spread the word on this.
Yes.
Because we'll make sure that no kids are going hungry this summer. And I know a lot of kids, when they're not in school, it's a struggle for them. So make sure that this service is out there. Donnie and his group do amazing work. I didn't know he was in here. That's great. But I'm going to keep promoting it because I want to make sure people know about it and take advantage of it. So
well, and I just say that. So if you want a little more, you can go back and check the show archives and see more details if you need. And I'll make sure and share that in the comments or maybe repost it to my page because there's a lot of good information there. And like you said, to make sure these kids don't go hungry. I was talking with somebody yesterday about Sumner County trying to get some programs like this, and I was thinking that they serve Sumner County or do you
he's expanded so much I can't keep up with it because it started out like this, and just in my 6 years it's like this now, and I know he serves multiple counties now, not to the level I don't think that they're serving in here because this is where he's based, but I do know they serve multiple. I don't know if Sumner is one of them, so I don't want to speak
that's the
on
thing.
that.
I'm not sure either because they mentioned something about at the Long Hollow Church they're trying to do something, and I said, well, you need to check it in with Donnie because they may be doing some stuff here in Sumner. I wasn't sure, but it's just amazing the program that it has, and he gave you the backstory on how that whole thing started, which I think is just so inspiring. So anything else before we go, brother?
That's it. Glad to be in. Hope you're enjoying your summer. Yes.
Absolutely.
So yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. How about you?
Good. We're good. Just rocking and rolling. Yes, ma'am.
Kids staying busy. That's
all the way.
Honestly and truthfully, talking to my nephew, even up in Kansas City, and of course my grandkids. Kids really don't take summer. They have so many other things going on. It's just busy.
Running them is my part-time job in the summer, and just getting them to everything. But I am the Uber, but we love it. It's a beautiful season of life. So
it is. It is. So enjoy it. Enjoy today. Pray the rain away for First Friday Night Market. And for all the things going on Saturday with Fish and Rodeo. And the farmers, I know they're going to need the rain later on. Hold off, Lord, because we need some dry weather so they can get everything planted. So that's what they're working on right now. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you guys for joining us. Tomorrow is, of course, Faith Friday, and it's the first Friday, so that means we're going to have my friend Lisa Fort in from Redeem Her Now, and that'll be and refresh their wonderful night that they have First Fridays, and you want to be a part of that, and she'll tell you more about that here on 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a fabulous day.
Italian car, but I still get around.